When it get all to be safe, I also want to stay here and be safe. I don't want to have to be gone.
Sure.
And then have to worry about what I just left, something just getting better. But I got to go somewhere else and start all over.
You know, we're going in circles. All he's doing basically is what we call brainstorming. Otherwise, he's getting ideas, he's getting input. That's all he's doing. Ain't nothing cutting.
Well, we've been doing this for a year and a half, and folks don't know about it in my community.
I was here a couple of years ago, Chief, before they even got off the ground. But anyway, this all they're doing is brainstorming right now.
That's what they told us before we started realizing that it's been more than brainstorming. It's been actually projects and actually things been going on the behalf of our community, saying that we're okay in this. And that's why I'm really speaking out today, because I agree. It started off, it was just some ideas. But these ideas you just said to me, that you take these ideas to the powers that be, and they speak for our community or whatever you want to do. But we just also discussed my community's not here at these meetings.
How many people here live in the community? You raise your hand, businesses in the community.
They here just recently because I got them out.
This family's been in this community 65 years. That makes him a part of this community.
Okay. How many people have been out here because I brought them out here in the last 2 meetings?
What's the family been here 65 years?
People's Restaurant.
Been here 65 years.
93.
They've been on Gratiot. They have not lived in the community 65 years.
Wait a minute. Watch this. How many of you people just started coming to these meetings within the last 2 meetings? Raise your hand because we got out and started passing flyers.
Nobody knows about it. Nobody.
How many people?
It would be my responsibility to participate in the selling of this land to share recovery. City has made no decisions. Nothing has been sold to the project. There is no hold on this property. It's still available to anybody who wants to come in. I can't speak specifically unless you give me a call and find out why these properties have not been made available to you. But as far as I know, if you live next door to a lot, you are entitled to purchase it through the Adopt a Lot program. So. Let's talk after the meeting, because I wouldn't be able to field all the calls that I'm going to get tomorrow. Okay.
Those lots, we've been checking
What was
on the
that?
lots back and forth, and when we finally get a definite answer, they told us they were sold.
Well, that's
And
possible.
now there's somebody on the other side of Shane. We read next to the lot, who never informed that the lot was going for sale. And
This lot is next door to you? Is that what you're saying?
It's next door to our lot. And for years, they've been telling us it wasn't up for sale. We did paperwork, they said it, and then we finally went down. They told us it was sold. It was sold by a businessman, bought by a businessman on the other side of Shane. And we've been checking.
Okay. All I can say is I would have to look at that specifically. If you live next door, if you actually own a property next door to a lot that's available, you have the first option on that lot.
They sold it. We've been checking. They've been telling us.
Was it the county that sold it, or was it the city?
Well, we don't know. They said a
So
man had bought it. And the man was a businessman on Shane. 3-4 blocks away from the house.
You know, again, I would have to have that, because I don't have access to my
What's his
computer.
name?
Could you,
Ron, last name is M-A-R-K-O-E.
could you put your name and phone number on a piece of paper up front so that those people, because there's a lot of people who seem to be saying the same thing about the sale of lots, so that you can get back in touch with them or they can get in touch with you?
Yeah. Like I said, I'd be glad to meet with anybody. It's just that my responsibility is not to sell property to everyone that comes in. We deal with development sales, but I can certainly answer your questions. If you have specific situations where the city has denied you an opportunity to purchase a lot in the area, I can speak to that.
Let me say this too about the lots. 2 years ago, when we started looking at the open space in the community and we got the list, a lot of that list has changed. because there's been a lot of foreclosure activity in this neighborhood. Just because a lot doesn't have anything on it doesn't mean that somebody doesn't or hasn't owned it. And when it's going through that foreclosure process, the property does change hands a number of times. It goes to the bank, it goes to the receiver, it goes to the bankruptcy, it goes to the foreclosure. Then if it's county or state property or federal property, then it goes to another procedure. And it can take 2, 3, 4 years for the city to actually get ownership of that property. That property could be changing hands. And when you do call the city, or you call the county, or you call the state, they can't tell you who owns it, or it seems like it's a different owner. It could be going through that process. You really don't know, and a lot of times the city, the county, and the state doesn't know where it's at in that process. So if you look at the lists that the city gave us 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there's a lot of properties that are different owners today than they were then, and a lot of them are not private owners, and they haven't changed hands for private development. They've either gone to the city, the county, or the state.
Other points that haven't been raised? Yes, sir.
You know, I'm willing to help facilitate anybody that want to find out about a lot next to their house. I'm a superintendent at the school on Wilkins and St. Albans. And we're building a high school because we want to be a part of this area and a part of this community, and help bring people back to this community. And regardless, we're providing one of the best educations in the nation. We also have a partnership with Detroit Public Schools. And so we need to get to the place, it's a Catholic school, private school, independent school. We need to have good education for the kids in Detroit. So what we're trying to do is set up a model that can be started and replicated anywhere. Just recently, we talked to Detroit Public Schools, and they want us to take over, actually tour their schools and help turn those around also, because we have a lot. So I'm willing to help anybody that want to find out about a lot next to their house. And then if it's the property, it's a property, and I can help you contact the city. You put your name and address on the sheet of paper, because one thing, if the local businesses and the community don't come together, because we cut the lots across the street from the school. Because I got young girls walking up and down the street, and I don't want anybody to jump out on those young girls or the families walking those kids to school. Because we do have walkers that live in the community across Gratiot that walk to school. So if you want to find out about your house or a lot next door, you put your name on this paper, and I'll help you.
I just have a question for this gentleman about the Detroit Edison School. I just had a question about the Detroit Edison School. Is it for-profit or like what's the deal? What's the profit model on that?
So any school is a non-profit entity. And we're a non-profit entity.
Right.
And especially due to the cuts that they've made to the school over the last couple of years, it's definitely non-profit. So they have a tax-exempt status. For a school to be a non-profit, you have to actually go through that process to become a non-profit.
Who owns it?
Nobody owns the school. Nobody owns the school. It's a board that runs it, oversees, and facilitates that. So, for an example, if the state went bankrupt, ran out of money, the school is closed. So, and I can talk to you some more. You can come to the school, you can meet, talk more about it. Right.
And I just want to add this, Share and RecoveryPark are also nonprofits, not owned by anybody. They have a board. We have a community group that we're trying to expand, and anybody wants to participate in that process. Okay, if our funding got cut off tomorrow, RecoveryPark and Share cease to exist as agencies. There's no profit model behind it. We're health agencies, so we're here to bring assets and resources to the communities that benefit from our services.
Yes.
You know, first of all, since he has a 501c3, I assume that's what he's saying he's got.
You don't have to have a five.
Okay, okay, but tax status, that's what I'm sitting there saying. A lot of times when these guys, sitting there buying these schools, they get these schools for $100.